We take a look at this. Is that the... Yeah. Okay, we can take a look at that before the Varka thing, sure. So these are sus leaks. About Sandrone and Superconduct. Sandrone sub DPS, similar role to Inefa. When the region opens, it will have a cryo superconduct DPS. Alright. That's... Okay, you guys want to know what the real Zajef verdict here is? Like, I have no idea if this is real or not. It probably isn't, because it sounds really early to get leaks, but there's a fucking chance that it just turns out to be right. To me, that sounds nice. I hope this is true. Please give electro carries options where they're not getting wheelchaired other than overload. Because like the electro carries that don't scale with EM, right? Like everyone except Flynn's, feel so bad to use in Binefa. It doesn't feel like they're doing anything. But if you make a character like Inefa for Superconduct, you create incentives for cryo and electro characters to be played together, and they are all scaling with similar stats, you might create an environment where electro characters have options for teams that aren't just chivalrous. And I think that would be nice. I think that would be cool. I would like that. Also, Sandrone has grown on me a lot, and it would be nice if she was the one bringing that. Don't get me wrong, Chad, though. I'm not that happy about it. So you guys probably don't have to fear the Zajef curse, because this is probably just gonna power creep chivalrous out of the meta. And that's probably gonna be cooked as hell. And I'm not looking forward to that part. Any info about the Tsaritsa? Is Sandrone a catalyst? I want to use her with the Narcissus Cross. Yes, that's the word. Sword. One-handed sword. Is this a reply to the Tsaritsa thing or the Sandrone thing? Probably the Sandrone thing, right? Yeah. It will have a mutated superconduct reaction. It will enter a special state. In this state, Sandrone can res shred, and based on the accumulated cryo plus electro damage X reaction coefficient, it will settle a single instance of high damage. Oh no. Okay, I take it all back. I take it all back. This damage does not scale with damage bonus. We're cooked. Also, you're telling me cryo plus electro and not physical? Surely you can include physical in that. It doesn't need to be good, okay? Just write physical in the text. You and I both know it's not gonna matter, because like, even if you do include physical, adding in Eula's 20k DPS compared to like Varessa's 83k or some shit, like she's still gonna be dog shit. Just include it. Just include it. Just write physical in there, please. Just please write physical in there. God. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. No Sambina synergy? What do you mean? You can play Lunar Charge with Superconduct. Do we know what element Sandrone is between Cryo and Electro? Supposedly Electro. If you don't need to apply to trigger Superconduct quickly, then you can play a Lunar Charge team just with a Cryo, with like Diona or some shit. And then you've got the Sambina synergy you wanted. In this state, Cryo and Electro coexist? What? Isn't that insane for pyro carries? You can use fast electro to make it so you can get reliable melts even if you have slow cryo. You could get more than one melt per cryo app. Wait, that would kind of go hard actually. Bridge upscale over melt. Wait, is this a Mawika? Mawika probably can't fit yet another character in these teams, right? Wrong? Yeah, actually you might be right. Maybe I am wrong. Damage frequency is about every 6 seconds. Higher cryo/electro application frequency will accelerate reaction settlement. What does that mean? Scales with attack frequency. So is this just saying the more hits you have, the more damage it does? Probably more frequent. I see. Okay, I guess that makes sense. More hits is less delay. I wonder if it's even good to have less delay though. Because like if it scales with the amount of electro and cryo damage you've done, then if it's shorter, you have less time to do damage. And if it scales directly with that, then there's no difference between getting 50 damage after 3 seconds and then 50 damage after another 3 seconds, or 100 damage once after 6 seconds. So like we need to see some numbers for this to actually mean anything. A super popular character like Sandrone, are they really going to make her a Inefa tier positioning? Wouldn't making her like Skirk better? She will be strong. This has to be rage bait, actually. I understand why you guys said this was fake now. I understand why you guys said this was fake now. I get it. Wait till you get to Linnea. Oh boy. When Sandrone release, she will have teams ready? Can she just run wild old cryo/electro characters? Of course. Okay, I will say this is kind of interesting, because like if the reaction actually does scale this way, this is actually so cool. Oh no, I'm liking the kit. That's not good. That's not a good sign. Chat, even if I were to lie and pretend like I don't find this idea like interesting, it would not cancel out the curse. All right, the curse reads my mind. The curse is aware of what lies beneath the facade. I don't know how you're supposed to say that word. It's not a fucking English word. If you want me to know how to pronounce your words, stop making them French. You like Nefer's kit too? I like Nefer's kit until we saw what it was. I liked the idea of having, like, before we knew how Verdun worked. No, before we knew how her stack thing worked, how her Seeds of Deceit work, right? Because I thought there would be something interesting with like hydro application and the speed of Seeds of Deceit generation impacting her damage, and it just didn't, because you only need 3. But like the first leaks we had didn't really imply that you only needed 3, so I thought it would be like, oh, you have to like manage 2 resources at the same time, your Verdun and your Seeds of Deceit. But no, that wasn't the case. Bro only likes the concept of women. Okay, sorry. Your curse made Nefer boring? Yeah, you're right. Where were we? Oh yeah, like this is effectively like elevation. It deals damage based on the amount of damage you've done. So it effectively just makes it so that you get a certain percentage of extra damage on each damage you do, right? So it's basically just elevation, except it's on a second hit instead of in that same hit. This is like Zed's ult in League of Legends. It's like Yone's E, actually. I thought that part was the MV of the mutated. I don't think so, because that would mean that it does 2 types of damage. I feel like they wouldn't do that. I find it quite offensive that you assume we know League characters. Okay, we get it. See, chat, I didn't think I'd have virtue signalers in my chat, but I guess I do. I guess I do. We've got a virtue signaler right here. Congratulations, unaware Luna. You don't play League of Legends. I'm so proud of you. Okay, what's the general design direction for Snezhnaya crowd reactions besides Superconduct in Snezhnaya? What else did it have? Melt. Oh boy. Oh boy. Tell us about Nicole. Don't expect too much. The devs won't design a second llama. Oh boy. See, this is fake. And the reason why I know this is fake is because this is way too in tune with what people are hoping about Nicole. Nicole at C0 has an incomplete kit, only giving attack percent buff. Her buff duration can be extended by Hexerite damage. The damage percent buff is moved to C1. However, her base kit has Chiori level off-field damage. Can we retire incomplete kit at C0, by the way? What a stupid way to think about things. Like, I don't know. What a stupid way to design a character. You mean having a character that at C0 does something and at C1 does something more? Like, I don't disagree with constellations being bad design, but that's just gacha games in general, right? Like, you can say that about literally every character. Like, it's one thing if, like, you have a kit that is inherently missing something that gets provided with constellations, right? Like, if, for example, Freya's skills didn't consume HP, and in order to get fanfare, you needed to have C1. Because the C1 was what consumed HP. Like, that I could see as an incomplete kit, sure. And like Risley definitely, yeah. Risley too. Risley's got a similar issue with that, with his passives, right? But this, like, this means that they perceive Nicole as a character to be a character that buffs attack and damage percent as her, like, baseline. And then, oh yeah, at C0 she doesn't buff damage percent, so she's incomplete. But like, that's just so weird. Skirk is an incomplete character because at C0 her void rifts don't do any damage. Like, it's just, what does this mean? Anyways, Iskafi is an incomplete character because she doesn't buff crit damage. Farina is an incomplete character because you need to have constellations to get fanfare without healing. Like, it's just so dumb. Anyway, sorry. How locked is Nicole team building? Wait, no. How many Hexerite teammates are locked? Each different Hexerite extends above duration. Short rotations are okay, but long rotations will lock to 4. How locked is Nicole team building? Varka is definitely optimal. At C6, how strong is Nicole's buff? Is it E start or Q start? Q. What the fuck do these things mean? What? Ignore the first question and then answer whatever the fuck this question is supposed to mean. E start or Q? Are they asking if you use E or Q first? Why does that matter? What? About Linnea. Is Linnea really Geo? What weapon does she use? Geo polearm, heavy ER tax. The kid is energy poisoned. Huh? What does that mean? Like, does she do less damage when her burst is full? Is her best assault weapon Mist Splitter? Holy shit. Wait, she's a polearm character. Are they making a polearm Mist Splitter? Yeah, I think this probably just means she needs a lot of ER, but I'm not sure. Very strong support capabilities. Her off-field damage can also trigger Lunar Crystallize. Skill has a tap and a hold version. Burst grants 40% res shred. Okay. To maximize it, you need to stack defense. Okay. Does Linnea have damage at C0 to C1? She's between Inefa and Loma. Okay. That's a massive range. Yes, it is. And also, like, the damage range is very large. And also, what do you mean at C0 to 1? What? Anyways. Anyways.
Deuce on the loose. Deuce on the loose.
Who's on the loose?